Welcome to the Jamb must repeat question today. If you come across this question and this lecture, just know that you are the luckiest Jamb 2026 candidate, because this is a Jamb must repeat question. This question, Jamb must repeat it. There is no juju. So what you have to do now is to get your pen and your paper, because you are going to need to jot down. You are going to need to make your own notes, because you are going to need it for subsequent revision. Let's go straight to the point. Jamb must repeat this question. The question reads, in pea plants, the allele for tallness, T, this capital letter T, is dominant over dwarfness, the small letter t. If two heterozygous tall plants, that's TT, capital letter T and small letter t, are crossed, what is the expected genotypic ratio of the offspring? It's telling us the expected what? Genotypic ratio of the offspring. That you say if two TT are crossed, that's this one, two of this one are crossed, two from the left, two from the right are crossed. What is the ratio? Remember, have this in mind that Jamb can also set the question asking you what's the percentage. Here they are asking us using ratio. So they can also ask you the percentage. So you have to know how to solve percentage. You have to know how to calculate percentage too. That's why you need basic knowledge of mathematics for you to be able to find answer to all this question. Trust me, this question you are seeing on the screen is easy. It's very, very easy. And I'm going to show you the easy way. And I'm going to also show you the hard way. But I will also show you the easy way. So the options here are, these are the options, 1 TT, 2 and so on and so forth. These are the options you see on the screen. That's dominant and recessive. Capital letter is dominant. It stands for dominant, while smaller letter stands for recessive. Let's answer this question the easy way. This is a typical genetic diagram. A typical genetic diagram, that's what you are seeing here on the screen. Whereby you cross, you see in a zigzag way, you cross in a zigzag way. But this, let me tell you, in secondary schools, 70% of students offering biology, they don't know how to do this thing, because it's quite complex, okay? Especially when you don't know how to do it. But I'm going to show you the one called Punnett square that is very, very easy for this crossing. Remember, we are crossing two capital letter T and small letter t, heterozygous plants. So we are crossing two of them. So remember what we are crossing. So I'm going to teach you an easier one. This is a genetic diagram. I'm going to teach you how to cross using the Punnett square. You see this on the screen? Throw this away. We need this no more. Throw this away. Let's look at Punnett square, baby. Punnett square is the answer. Now, how do you use the Punnett square to cross in genetics? How do you use the Punnett square to cross? How to draw the Punnett square. That's what I want to teach you now. It's very easy, very simple. He said, firstly, that's the first step is what? Write out the two pairs of chromosome or allele that you want to cross, okay? And in this case now, we don't want to use this to answer the question. I am going to teach you how to use the Punnett square to cross two alleles, okay? To cross allele in genetics. But you are going to be the one to use it yourself to cross that question that we just read. So it says determine, determine or identify them. So in this case, we are using capital letter T, 2, which is dominant, and small letter t, which is what? Recessive. So we are crossing one dominant and one recessive allele. So both of them, we are crossing them together. So moving on, you now know the first step. Hope you are making notes. Hope you are making notes. So you now know the first thing to do. That's the first thing to do before you start drawing the Punnett square. Determine the allele that you want to cross. Usually 2, okay? So let's look at the first step. The first step of drawing the Punnett square. The first step, this is the first step. First, number 1 is what? It says draw two vertical lines. You know what a vertical line is now? From up to down or from down to up. From up to down or from down to up. That's a vertical line. Draw two. 1, 2. Set them apart. Just like the illustration you are seeing on the diagram located on the left-hand side of your screen. So this diagram you are seeing here, hope you can see this diagram. Seeing this diagram here shows you it's an illustration of draw two vertical lines. So you are just going to draw the vertical line just like this, what you have here. So let's move over to the second step. Then the second step. So the second step of drawing the Punnett square reads, draw two horizontal lines on the vertical lines. So at the middle of the vertical line, draw two horizontal lines. So I told you vertical line is like this, from up to down or from down to up. Or then horizontal line is like this now. It's like you want to draw a cross. This one is the vertical. This one is the horizontal. So vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. So vertical, horizontal. So you are drawing your horizontal line like this. Okay, you are going to draw two horizontal lines. Okay, on the vertical line as illustrated on the table located at the left hand side of this screen. Okay, look at the left hand side of your screen. You are going to see a diagram there. That diagram you find there is an illustration of what I'm talking about. It's very easy. So let's move on to the third step. The third step of drawing the Punnett square, it reads, leave the top left box blank. So the top left box up left, that's top left. So in this my box that you are seeing my face display now, This is my my handsome face displaying on your screen. When you say top left, you go top first. This is the top of this my box now. Then left, that's located around here. So around this place, you are going to leave it blank on your Punnett square that you are drawing. So when we look at the diagram we have on the left hand side of the screen, we have the blank there. You can see the top left, we wrote it there, blank. So you are going to leave there blank. It's not a must that you are going to write it, but I'm just making you cautious. I just want you to be very, 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 very cautious of what you are doing. You have to know what you have to do. So if you know you might forget, just write blank there, just as it was done here for the beginners. Let's move on to the fourth step. The first step of drawing the Punnett square. What do you do? Input the first pair of chromosomes or allele into the two top boxes. So the two top boxes, you are putting the first pair of chromosome or allele into the what? The two top boxes. That's the boxes at the top, the two. 1, 2, 1, 2. So you say one in the top middle, the other in the top right. So one in the top middle. Looking at the diagram we have here now. So let's go back and look at the allele and chromosome we want to cross at first. Let's look at them. Okay, these are them. Capital letter T and small letter TT. Okay, capital letter TT and small letter TT. So the first one is this capital letter TT. We are going to put it at the top. Okay, or you can also decide to put it on the left side. Okay, you can also decide to put it on the left side instead of putting it at the top here. You can also decide to put one here on this left side, one here and one here. But depending on the one you feel is comfortable for you, you feel is easier for you, so do the one that's best for you. So put two of them at the top, TT. That's it. Let's look at the fifth one. The fifth step of drawing the Punnett square reads: input the second pair of chromosomes or allele into the two left boxes, one in the middle left, the other in down left. So like I said before, you say one in the middle left, middle, this is the middle. Looking at the diagram we have here, this is the middle and this is the left. Okay, so middle left, so you are putting it here. Then you put the other one here, down left. So basically, you put the first two up here, 1, 2. Then you put the other two allele, 1, 2. Then you can do any one first. You can even decide to exchange it. You can decide that this small letter T, you put it up. And this big letter T, which are the dominants, you put it down here. Okay, so just decide on the one to do. Both of them works. Okay, it works equally. So you just have to decide the one that's easier. Let's look at number 6, the sixth step of drawing the Punnett square. Now is the time to connect it. So how do you connect? You start connecting. Statement reads: bring all the chromosomes or allele into the blank boxes. Or you know that these boxes were blank. Look at it here. All these boxes were blank. These 4 boxes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. They were all blank. So how do we bring the chromosomes into the boxes now? Let me teach you. First of all, you start from left to right. Don't forget, you are starting from left to right. So what you are going to do, you are going to put T here. This small letter T, you are going to shift it here, put it here. That's you are going to write T here. Okay. Then this one up, you are going to also bring it down. Anything around this vertical column here like this, you bring it down into the vertical column. Anything around the horizontal column, you bring it down into the horizontal column. So anything like this, you bring it down into each column. Anything like this, you bring it into each column. So you are going to put small letter T here because it's horizontal column, small letter T. Then vertical column, you put this T here, this big letter T. You are still going to do the same thing here. Look at it. You are going to put T here, this small letter T. You are going to pull it here. Then you are going to also bring the capital letter T down, put it here. You are still going to do the same thing here. You bring T here down, you put small letter T here. Okay, you are still going to do the same thing here. You bring small letter T here, then you bring capital letter T here. So let's look at the final diagram. So this is the final diagram. Like I said before, T will come down. You can see it's capital letter T brought down into the vertical column. Okay, capital letter T also brought down into the vertical column. So what you are going to do, just bring down all the vertical column and you bring down all the horizontal column. But the way you are supposed to start is that you are going to do the one for the left, which is the horizontal columns first. Okay, because they are supposed to be, the horizontal column are supposed to be the first. Okay, so put T here, drag T here, drag small letter T here too. Drag small letter T here into this column, drag small letter T here into this box. They are still going to do the same thing here. You drag small letter T into here, this box. You drag small letter T here into this box. When you are done with small letter T, you do big letter T or capital letter T. You drag big letter T or capital letter T into this box here. You drag capital letter T into this box here. You drag capital letter T into this box here on the right hand side. You drag capital letter T into this box here on the right hand side. And with this, you have gotten the 4 products from crossing the capital letter TT and the small letter TT, dominant and recessive. So if we should calculate the percentage of the offspring we got here, it's going to be capital letter T, small letter T, capital letter T. That is equal. That is going to be 50-50. okay, because they are all equal. Dominant, recessive, dominant, recessive, dominant, recessive, dominant, recessive, dominant, recessive. So this is what 50-50 dominant, recessive. Or they can say 4 dominant or 4 mixed. The product of the crossing or the offspring is dominant and recessive. So it's mixed. So you have small letter t, capital letter T into 4. That's what you have here. So basically, you are going to write this thing as capital letter T and small letter t, 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 because it's dominant before recessive, dominant before recessive, dominant before recessive. That's why it's always good to start from left to right. Even when you want to input the allele, first do this left one first. Input this one first. Okay, we are going to input the dominant. We are going to input the dominant on the left, then you input the recessive here at the top. With this question we have right here, it's your turn to find the answer to this question. Find the answer to this question and drop the answer in the comment section. I can't wait to see you give me the correct answer to this question.